We are back. This is the Dream is Free podcast, episode 21. I'm your host, Jake Healy. Our other host and super producer is here, Michael Theophil.
Hello, folks.
Our guest today is Jason Giannaras. If anybody from Fairfield is listening, you would know him from Hair in Place as one of the best barbers around.
Oof. Hell yeah.
But what you might not know, or what you probably do know, is that he's an amazing professional underwater scuba diving photographer.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to
And
be
a
here with
runner.
you guys.
And a runner, Jake.
And a runner.
Well,
Yes.
the runner part's like a distant second, so
I know,
I'll take
but
the professional
still,
photographer. I'll take that one. No
we like to
problem,
list
so.
everyone's accolades.
Yeah.
You know, that is definitely...
Avid 5K
I'm a
runner.
good second place 5K runner.
Yeah.
I'll take second place.
It's more than I do.
Yeah.
50-yard dash, fine, but not 5K, yeah, second place.
Yeah, that's dope.
So
Yeah.
I like slow speed underwater, just kind of going.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a perfect person to have on a podcast because all barbers are good at conversation.
Sometimes. I'm usually pretty quiet at work. So
Oh, really?
This is like you're reaching into my more comfort zone with the diving and everything like that. So I'm excited to talk about it with you guys and tell you some experiences and all that. So a lot of people really don't like to get into too much. People are afraid of the water and big animals. And my specialty is more like the shipwrecks, just to give more of a story. And it has like a little bit of a mystery side, so people like a little bit of mystery.
Yeah.
So if I can bring that out in the photography and show the wide angle perspective of the site and stuff like that, you really get a good sense of what you're looking at. And
the crazy thing about Jason is you could be like at a dive site and he'll tell you the entire history of the wreck that you're about to dive on.
you know what? It's just
He'll be like, this is the name of it. It was sunken this year after hitting these rocks, and it was this type of boat.
They all need a story.
Yeah.
They all have a story. They were like people. They lived, they worked, they did what they did, and they died.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same concept. It really is. They made these things. They made the world happen. So they deserve a story. And you know what? Even like the pictures, like it shows like how cool the photos look and stuff like that. The story sometimes is a little bit better than the picture because it's like, oh yeah, look at how that happened. Was it a collision or in a storm or whatever? Or this did this and this helped build that, or this rescued people off the Titanic.
Yeah.
So at least it has a connection through history of something, which is something everybody can relate to.
It's cool.
It is really cool, like going down on the wreck, especially the ones that we just did in St. Thomas. It was pretty crazy. Like there was a hospital boat, right?
Missed
That
opportunity.
still had like a bed set up. It's creepy, like when you get down there and it's like in the dark.
Like this thing was literally upside down. It was upside down at an angle, so you're going into the ship and
it throws you off too.
Yeah, it's on an angle upside down, so the light fixtures are on the floor, and so the floor is the ceiling.
Whoa.
Yeah. So.
Do you ever get like scared that you might get caught up in like a ship or something could go, like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, he went into the wreck, and there was a big ass grouper that came out through one of the rooms, so he got the,
a what?
Grouper.
What is that?
A Goliath grouper.
Yeah.
It's a giant, like the size of this table.
He went in first.
They're fish that could grow to be like 500-600 pounds, the size of a Volkswagen. Like,
Do they eat?
No.
Eat? Oh, okay.
Only in the movies.
they eat
exactly.
lionfish.
See, like that's probably another thing too. Is like my fear of the water is probably heavily derived from movies and shows.
You watch Jaws too many times.
Probably, honestly, especially like when I was young.
Yeah. It's, you know what? I don't really like swimming in shallow, murky water. Like I wouldn't go to Cape Cod and like hang out in like the shallow water on the beach. But
I wouldn't either.
I'd be down to scuba dive off the coast of Cape Cod. Like it's way different seeing a shark when you're underwater face to face with it than like just being in the shallow water where people usually get bit.
Well, most shark attacks and mistakes are usually in shallow, murky water anyway.
They think you're seals.
That because they can't see because it's so murky, they end up using their radar, and the splashing and everything can mean anything. So their radar takes over. So out in the water, out in the deep, where it's clear, they can see you. They know who you are. They know you're not food. So that's secondly, you never see. That's why shark attacks are beyond rare to see on divers out in the open because they know what you are.
Right.
So
interesting.
Yeah, it's really the same concept. Trust me, I won't go to Cape Cod in water past my hip. No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll pass.
Yeah, totally. Me too.
Yep.
That's some Jaws shit.
Yeah. I mean, it is literally.
Yeah. But no, so I met Jason. I mean, we've known Jason for a long time.
Yeah, wow.
The Donut In days.
Donut In,
Yep.
haircuts, all that stuff.
Yep.
But then I got into scuba diving. And
When did you get certified?
2017 or 18.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, only about 3-4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got into scuba diving and like immediately got obsessed with it.
Of course,
Fell in
Jupiter.
love. Yeah, going down to Jupiter.
That's
all
what
the time.
happens. You get ruined. Look at me.
Yeah.
22 years later, this is where we are. Almost 800 dives later. It's
Writing a book about scuba diving.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That
Yeah.
too.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. But no, we met and then one day Jason was just like, hey, I'm going to dive at this place in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, Dutch Springs.
Dutch Springs.
Yeah, we did that last October.
Middle of October. It's freezing outside. It was
Long drive.
a cold day, long drive, and
Uh-huh.
it's a quarry. So you just go in and the water goes from being like, what was it, 70 degrees above.
It was like it was about 70 degrees on the surface, and then as soon as you hit about 35 feet, not even, it was like, then it goes to like 65, and then from 35 to 45 it goes to 55 degrees. So it literally drops 10 degrees in a section like this.
Like
so
literally like a line where you could like
Feel it.
go
the
up and down.
thermocline is
Thermocline,
just a straight line. Like you can, if you get cold,
You could
just
see it.
go up. It looks hazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's all,
bizarre.
like
Wow.
sparkly and stuff in the water.
They have school buses. They have
There's a
trucks, and
helicopter sunk under
planes.
there.
Why
this
all
crazy
that stuff?
Yep.
They just created it as a dive site.
Oh,
It's in
cool.
a quarry in Pennsylvania.
It used to be a cement quarry years ago, and then they actually hit a spring when they were digging, and then flooded the lake, and then they tried to pump it out, and then it became to a point where it's just
Forget it. Leave it.
forget it.
Yeah.
And then it was purchased by a dive organization, I think back in the early '80s, and then they end up bringing all these things to sink and stuff like that.
That's
plus,
cool.
Plus, you know what? People in the middle of Pennsylvania don't have
Yeah.
anywhere to dive, so
Right.
this is a great opportunity for them to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And say, okay, we're gonna go here, and there's get certifications and stuff, and they say they're up to like literally 1,000 people diving in the quarry on a certain day in
Wow.
the summertime. When we went, they were like, oh, it's very slow today, so you're gonna have plenty of room. We go down the hill with to drop off our gear, and there's like 150 people, and I'm like,
Slow.
this is slow.
Wow.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
We're
Way more
coming and
people.
going.
It was freezing outside. Yeah, I didn't think anybody was gonna be in there.
People were pinching tents. They were staying the weekend there and stuff like that.
That's cool though.
It was a neat place. You literally just gear up and just walk down this like the road into the water, and then you just go off.
Into this mystical underground
Underwater.
water. Yeah, underwater
Underwater
awesomeness.
world. Yeah.
That's sick.
And,
And then-
some of the things were connected through rope, so you'd swim down to like the school bus. That's like in 45 feet of water, and then like one rope would go off in one direction that leads to something. Another rope goes to something else, and then another rope goes to something else. So
Cool.
we'll go down and we'll be like on the school bus, and we're just looking at each other going, that way? And let's go that way. All right,
Yeah.
let's go up the rope. Where it leads it to a Cessna.
That's
And
cool.
then come back and then go somewhere else. So
That's where I need to start. That
there-
place.
That's where a lot of people do their training. But for you would do like the certification with Noel at Orbits, right? You do all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Orbit Marine in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Orbit Marine. Shout out to Orbit Marine. Noel
Yeah.
Varoba. Yeah. He's the go-to scuba diving guy.
He's the GOAT.
He is.
Yeah.
He's been doing
Yeah.
it for a long time.
His dive shop is he's like dive store number like 12. In the country, like a certain like this is dive store number like whatever.
yeah.
He's number 12 or like 13 in the country
Wow.
because he started in 1972, and so he was literally like the 12th dive shop to come in, to be in the United States.
Wow.
That's how original he is.
Bridgeport.
And he's still going strong, and he's not going anywhere.
He goes
So
all over the world.
He
scuba
still runs
diving.
trips. He goes.
Wow.
He's 72.
He's in the Bahamas now. Yeah, he's in the Bahamas right now.
He's always somewhere.
The Bahamas is closed right now. You can't go there, like you and me or whatever.
Yeah.
We can't go to the Atlantis. We can't do anything, right? But if you're going to stay on a boat for a week, you're not on land technically, so you're literally going from the airport right to the boat, and then you're off. You can go. So they're on a liveaboard right now, just floating around in the Exumas somewhere.
Oh, wow, that's epic.
Because it doesn't count as staying on the island. They're on a boat.
Wow.
I know.
That's
So
cool.
that's why they're there now. It's like, and then he's going to Cozumel, Mexico next month.
That's gonna be an awesome trip.
That place is still
Really awesome.
that place is open too.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. So at least some places are still open. Like
know.
when we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, which was great because we had to of course with Jake, I'm like, hey Jake, I gotta go back. I gotta go to St. Thomas and photograph these wrecks because I had some help from some guy from NOAA who's also on the Discovery Channel a lot to help me locate this wreck that we were looking for.
Cool.
And I talked down to the guy in St. Thomas that helped locate it with his numbers. We were going, So, anyways, the wreck was found, and I wanted to go back and photograph it. So, of course, I'm like, Jake, you want to come? He's like, of course, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, Jake does. There's no
Questions.
No questions asked. I always ask him, like, hey, Jake, I'm interested in this. What do you think? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Not even, well, let me think about it. You know, it's not even, it's a guaranteed yes off the bat. So
Yeah.
That's the best part. That's what's so fun. And he likes that because it's like, I'm good at planning. So he's like, yeah, I'll go. Just let's do it.
He trusts you. Yeah. He knows you'll take care of it.
Oh, yeah. So.
How much do you need? Right?
Hey, these are the flights. They're cheap. Let's book them now.
Yeah.
Okay. He usually books them before I do.
Yep. That's awesome.
But so anyways, when we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, we had to do a little bit of paperwork to get there. We had to get her COVID test 5 days for the flight.
5 days before?
5 days before the flight. So they're accepting a rapid test, PCR, and all that stuff. So we go get a test, and then you have to.
Some lady didn't get on the plane.
We're gonna get into that.
They're like, you can't come on.
So we had to fill out a travel certification from the U.S. Virgin Islands, which they wanted us to upload our results, fill out some paperwork, and then send everything in. And then you're waiting back for a response from the U.S. Virgin Island government to accept you to go to the island. So so we got all of our paperwork in line and stuff like that, and we're all set. You know, we get to the airport, and this and that. They've shoved us all in one terminal. Meanwhile, we're like, all right, we're hungry. There's gonna be no food on the airplane. They already told us. So we found a Dunkin' Donuts, which the line was from here to like
the only thing open
the
next
terminal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're like, all right, let's wait for it. It's like, all right, the flight's coming. That's gonna start soon. So
Yeah.
so anyways, we get back and. So we get in line. You know, there was only 20 people on the flight, so we were just like, all right, well, you know, instead of rows 1 through 10, it's everybody just get up to the line.
Yeah.
So we get in line and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, everybody have their COVID tests out, so you know, we could check your results because this flight's going to the U.S. territories and they were requiring this the minute you get this. Okay, so we get in line. Meanwhile, Jake is the best packer I've ever seen in my life. You know, backpack in front, backpack in rear. Meanwhile, I'm carrying all my dive gear like this. I got stuff all over the place. You know, I'm like, did you bring anything?
No.
It's like, yeah, I got like an underwear and pants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and my regular.
Yeah, me too. I don't think you need anything. If I need a shirt, I'll buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to pack.
Yeah.
Packing is easy.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So
you're in line.
No, we're in line. So we get in line and we have our paperwork out. And so meanwhile, there was this lady that was several people in front. She handed her paperwork up to the people from Delta, and they looked at her paperwork and going, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We're not gonna be able to accept. You know, we're not gonna accept this. The U.S. Virgin Islands are not gonna accept this. And also on your sheet here, it's supposed to say negative. It does not say negative anywhere on your sheet for your COVID results." And I'm like, oh my God, man, they're not gonna let that lady on the flight. I look at them like, they're not gonna let her on the flight. They're not gonna let. I mean, she must have never even did the certification thing. I mean, she would have been sorry the minute she got down there. So, but meanwhile, I'm looking at my paperwork, and our COVID test doesn't say negative on it. It says not detected. And I'm looking at Jake, like, Jake, our paperwork doesn't say negative on it. It says not detected. And that guy said it's supposed to say negative. I go, they're not gonna let us on either. And Jake's like, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'm having like an anxiety attack in line.
It's like me and Tam, Jake.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's like I'm sitting there going, oh my God, they're not going to let me on. I'm going to have to call the driver. I don't know what to do. So meanwhile, I go up, hand the paperwork. The guy's looking at us like, okay, let's see. Not detected. Okay, you're all set. I'm just like, oh, man.
Thank God.
Oh, I went from like this to this in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I just looked at him and he's just like, he was so calm.
I know.
Just like, they're not gonna let me on. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Where were we? Okay, so we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
We did.
Nobody's there.
Nobody's there because it's a cruise ship island. Like usually there's 4 or 5 cruise ships cycling a day through there a day. It's 10
people
to
stop in, people leave.
Yeah, usually they have 10 to 20,000 people different people every day cycling through the
island. A lot of people.
So they have this one downtown area. It's all jewelry, like Rolex, like all this big name jewelry shit.
Stuff Chris would sell.
Right. Yes. So they want to have pretty much
duty free everything.
All these people cycling through, tax free, duty free, all that stuff. So there's no cruise ships right now. So pretty much the whole island is just shut down. There's a few restaurants open, some hotels open, one dive boat open. So everything was really, really cheap for us to go do. Food wasn't that cheap, but like it was cheap for us to get there and stay.
There was only a few restaurants open. There weren't a lot of restaurants open.
Yeah.
Because there was no
there was no
reason. There was no reason to it. There's nobody to serve, so they don't even bother opening half the restaurants.
Yeah.
But we found our dive guy, and he took us out. It was rough waters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
it was an unfortunate windy week. He told me, he goes, Jay, I wish you were here a week earlier because there was like no wind and it was like flat calm seas. So we had days where we were out in, I don't know, 6-footers. So
The boat just slapping up and down in the water.
this one,
Great.
So the last day we were out there, it was the worst. It was like 6 to 8 footers. But the second day we were out, we were wanting to go to this one wreck site, which is usually it's very rough conditions
To begin with.
Usually it's a rough place. It's called the Witch Shoal 2, and it's like one of the best wrecks in the Caribbean. I would say it's a top 10 out of all the Caribbean. And I wanted him to go there. I wanted him to see it because it's like a great site.
Yeah.
So, and usually it's a lot of current, murky, big waves there. And when I was there back in March, I dove it. I mean, we had 6 to 8 foot waves. The visibility was terrible, and it was literally like a wash machine. It was literally taking me like pushing me 10 feet one way, 10 feet the other. It was just like you were just like this, and you're just like
Underwater even?
even underwater. It was literally like a wash machine.
Yeah.
Scary.
So we went there, and we're like, wow, the conditions are not even that bad. So we anchored on it, no problem. And we got down in the water, and we were looking. Usually when you check for current, usually look at the bubbles. You exhausted the bubbles. If you see the bubbles are flying out and the sides are not just going straight up, you can tell if the current's moving or not. So we got in. The bubbles were literally going straight up, and we're like, wow, there's like no current. So we literally had
It was a good dive.
Oh, so you got to see it.
the best.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
It was the best conditions on this site you could have pretty much any other time. I mean, it's very rare for what we got. I mean, it was a gift.
Wow.
I mean, it was just like it was a 350-foot ship. It's not
massive.
It's really not that deep. It's only about 80 feet deep, but most of your dive is at 50, 60 feet. So you're able to see the whole wreck, in about 45, 50 minutes from bow to stern. And of course, doing with underwater photography, I had, Jake was my model.
Yeah.
So usually, I need him for scale because when I photograph these wrecks, I need somebody
Yes.
in the photo to show the actual scale of the ship itself,
Right.
show you
It's
how really
hard.
big it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you see like me, like this little dot. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
Big ship.
Yeah.
For a big guy, he was a dot.
Yeah.
But
It's the perfect modeling for me. I have a black wetsuit
Yeah,
on. You
yeah.
can't see my face. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, SEAL
It's
Team
like if Jake was ever going to do modeling, this is it.
This is it.
SEAL
Yeah.
Team 6 style, he was,
Yeah.
But no, it worked.
I know.
It worked out perfect though. So, but it was like but I was more thrilled, him being able to see this site.
Yeah.
Because it is literally a top 10, top 10 dive site literally in the Caribbean because it's just a really rare site to go to, and it's the good story about it and stuff like that. It was a World War II LST
Wow.
that served all the way up to 1979, 1980. The owners actually went out to sink the wreck way out in deep water, and it sunk prematurely. Then the wreck this was like in 1984, 1985. Then the wreck was refounded by divers in 1991. So it's kind of a cool story about
That
it.
is.
So yeah.
And we think there's another wreck. Is that the wreck that the other wreck is off of?
No, so the one
We were trying to find another wreck.
So the wreck that we located over the summer, it's called the Wit Service 2, was a tugboat that went down in 1979 after hitting a reef off.
No one found it?
It was found. So
It was found and unfound.
It was found and unfound. So it was known by divers for years. And then for the last 20-something years, and it just kind of got lost in the history books. And then it was then it was refounded with this guy that helped me from NOAA. So he usually follows a lot of my stuff, and he was like a huge help. So because he really like honed down and helped me
track it
down and locate it. So, and then I go through all these I have like a lot of old dive books and stuff like that, and so what I do is I do a lot of reading and research, and then I found something about that there was another wreck that was literally located 500 feet behind this one. So that's like really close to the big open ocean. I mean, that is unbelievable. So, so we went and did this dive, and then then after we came up, we took the boat to go and look for the other one, and the current was picking up, and it was rough, and we couldn't anchor on it. We did find it on the radar on the boat, but we weren't able to anchor on it because there just wasn't a lot of things to grab, and the current was rough. So, but maybe we'll take a time. Maybe we'll take another trip down there to go dive it. So
Yeah.
Dropping an anchor on a shipwreck is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
especially if there's a lot of current.
Yeah, when the current's so
when you drop the anchor, what do you want it to hit typically?
you
what's
want it to
ideally?
grab onto the boat,
Right. Oh, okay.
that you're anchoring onto. Right?
So it doesn't matter if you damage it more.
It won't damage it.
I know it's sunk, but you know what I mean.
It won't damage it.
It's all coral, like it's hard.
Yeah.
So pretty much boats now have a a detector that like they'll see.
Right.
Where it rises
it's
up.
like the spinning.
His boat has it.
You could see it maybe on a dot, right? Is this the part of the movie I'm remembering when you watch?
No, it's just a screen with like you just see like when you go over it
you can see a bump
in it, so you know you're above the shipwreck. You know. Cool. So you know the coordinates of it because they've all been there before. Yeah. Like Jason's boat has like detectors on the side, so
I have side scan sonar, so I could see everything from 150 feet, say, to the right and left of my boat. So I can if I'm looking for something, I can literally just mow the lawn
on the sides.
I can mow the lawn and cover a huge area, and I'll be able to find it.
This boat didn't have that. It only can see what's right below it. Mm-hmm. So pretty much they see it, and then they try to drop the anchor right onto it, catches it. It's a lot of work to pull the anchor back up. It's like. Yeah, so
this poor guy on this boat. You should have seen this guy.
Because we were trying to find the wreck. He kept yelling to me. He's like, drop the anchor. He's dropping it. He's like, pull it back up. It's like, you're pulling a heavy piece of metal on a chain, Yeah.
There's about 30 feet of chain with an anchor at the end and like 100 feet of rope.
Yeah. Yep.
That guy was so tired, man.
I bet.
The guy who had the boat, he
probably quit his job after.
It was literally his second day.
It was. He wasn't ready for it either.
No, not happy.
Oh my God.
Worse. It was pretty funny.
And on top of that, it was not a calm day either. It was like 6 to 7 foot waves. So the boat was literally like this.
And he's like, oh
sitting
my
on
God.
the front,
it was. Anybody on this boat would have puked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And he's like, and Jupiter is like normal, right?
Yeah, that's how it always is. In Florida, it's
always crazy.
It's always
wow.
nuts, yeah.
You want to go diving now?
I do, but somewhere safe, like that place in Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh. It's like a 9-hour drive. Forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've done a lot of scuba diving. We did Aruba together. Did some shipwrecks there. We saw a manta ray in Aruba, which was very, very rare.
That's unbelievable.
Really? Yeah.
20 years in the Caribbean, never seen a manta ray in the Caribbean.
And the captain on the boat saw it from up top, and he was like, manta ray, and like everybody who worked there started freaking out because they never see them ever.
How big was it? Huge, right? They're big.
Probably the size of this.
The
span of this table.
More bigger than that.
Yeah.
It was bigger than that. It was like it was at least an 8-foot wingspan.
Wow.
So
they're beautiful. They just you could, and they have eyes. They're like human-like eyes. Like you could see them looking at you. You know.
Wow.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Remember what happened, right?
Yeah. The woman, the dive master, she's like, "Don't get too close. Don't touch it." She's freaking out. This lady, right? And we're in the water. She has her camera. She's swimming up to the manta ray. The manta ray just flips its wing out, right? Slaps her camera out of her hand and it starts falling. I have the whole thing.
You got it on video.
I have it on video of her camera getting slapped out of her hand. It was the funniest shit ever.
That was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Because she was bitching.
This little crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the woman was nuts.
Dude, she was a truck driver like somewhere. She was like a woman truck
this
driver.
Little short, just like
crazy. She had a mouth on her. It was just like, she's like no qualms about it. She just says whatever. She says whatever. And
sailor.
That was it. Oh yeah, true sailor mouth.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Jake's like, where do you find these people? I'm like, I don't know. Just saw on the website. They said they were going to this site that I needed to get to.
Yeah.
For this, these forks I had to photograph. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun trip though.
Aruba was great.
A lot of cool people on the boat.
You ever been to Aruba?
No.
You got to get out, man.
I know. That's why I'm doing this, so one day I could travel all the world.
Oh, good. Well, I hope this is more of an incentive. Now you got to get certified.
Oh, definitely. No, I've wanted to. I'm not like, I'll do it. Yeah, I do. Am I
Did
scared?
you see how much fun he has?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so addicting.
Best.
Yeah, I got to do it.
It ruins you.
How'd you start?
So I always been a water person, and it's funny. I come from a family that wasn't really anything water related,
right?
Even though
the Greeks.
We lived, our family, our farm is literally 10 minutes from the beach where we are in Greece. But like none of my family even here was like really water person. I was
swimming or whatever.
Not really. I mean, they like to go to the beach, but nothing any more than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always liked the water and some strange reason as a kid I would draw like pictures of shipwrecks and things like that. So I actually posted something on Instagram. I found a picture that I drew like when I was like 7 of a ship under the water and stuff like that. And for I don't know where I saw this or
you were made for it.
It just was weird. So I got certified when I was 15. So in 1998.
Wow. And
then just worked my way up the ladder from there. First island I ever dove was Grand Cayman. Yep, on a cruise, family cruise, and then they just got off the boat and they sent me on a dive boat and went, and that was it. That was like in the fall of 1998, so 22 years ago, which seems like yesterday.
How many dives are you at now?
About 790. Damn. So
wow.
But it took, and I will give a lot of credit to Orbit Marine in Bridgeport, which you should go get certified from. They're really.
I definitely am.
He runs a lot of trips, and I was able to jump on to a lot of these trips. And he goes. He has. We did a trip to the Maldives one time, which is you fly to Dubai, and then you connect to go to the Maldives, was off India. Went to the Red Sea, Egypt, Red Sea, and then 3 times to the South Pacific, Micronesia in particular. So I went to the island of Palau, which was a lot of big animals, and mantas and whale sharks and things like that. The Maldives had a lot of whale sharks.
You saw that?
Yep.
Big whale sharks.
Yeah.
Whale sharks are literally the size of
gentle
small
ones.
school buses. They're unbelievable. It's something you have to see in person. It's like you can't describe what a whale shark is. You have to see it.
Yeah.
The Maldives is that place to go to. There are so many of them. And it's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, I gotta go one day.
Actually, Noel had a video on his. He showed a video. So they stayed out. So like usually on these trips, on these big ones, you would stay on a boat for a week. So you would stay on this boat and you would literally dive your face off. They'll bring you you do like 25 dives in the week. So at the end of the week, you don't want to do any more diving. You're like, I'm done. Get me home. I'm finished.
Yeah.
So they had like 5 whale sharks hanging off the back of the boat at nighttime because they had these big, powerful lights, and the whale sharks were sitting there eating the plankton. It was really unbelievable.
Because they could see them?
Well, because the plankton's attracted light, and the whale sharks come right up, and they're sucking in all the plankton. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I also dove the Japanese shipwrecks in World War II in Truk Islands. I've been there twice, which is Truk Lagoon. Yep. It's a big battle that happened, Operation Hailstorm, in 1944. So basically what the Japanese did to us in Pearl Harbor is what we did to them in Truk Lagoon. We annihilated 60 ships. And a lot of these ships it was pretty cool because literally you're traveling through time, including people, because a lot of these ships have remains on them and stuff like that. So you're going through the engine rooms. There are bones everywhere and stuff like that. So it literally gives you a lot of perspective on seeing these wrecks and it's
what
like
war was like and
what
everything.
war was like. And these were just kids. They were just 18, 17 years old kids. And, they were in an engine, these people were in an engine room working. All of a sudden the ship gets hit by a torpedo bomb.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I don't know what goes on. It's literally, by the time they realize they know what goes on, it's too late. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a really moving experience to go see that. That is a total recommendation for anybody who likes wreck diving and history.
How deep are those in Truk Lagoon? Like, what are they sitting at?
Believe it or not, they're actually not that. They're not that bad. So some of them are like 40. Some are like the top of them maybe 50 feet. Most of your dive is between 80, 90, 100 feet. But the majority of them your dive profile is going to be between 100 to 150 feet. And we did one wreck called the San Francisco Maru, which is about 180 feet down. So you literally have a 15-minute bottom time, and then
really?
You have 15 minutes on the bottom, and then you have to decompress coming up, which is about 35 minutes to come up at that depth.
So, it takes after you're down there for 15 minutes, you have to
go at a
deco stop for 35
minutes. Usually when we dive, we stop for like 3 minutes or 5 minutes. On a dive like that, you literally and also with mixed gas, you do nitrox and stuff like that, which gives you a little bit more bottom time. The mixtures in the tanks and stuff instead of breathing like 100 regular air that we're breathing today. So, but it's a lot of process though. Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, like the mixed gases.
But that's all an experience though, just like anything else. So you always start with the easy stuff, like what we do, which most people do in the Caribbean. Like even what we did, what we did wasn't. It was a little. I would say it's a little bit more challenging than normal because everything we did was literally like 100 feet. 120 feet. I mean, the Granton was 125.
Right, that was a deep one.
So, but that would require maybe stopping at 15 feet for 5 minutes to decompress instead of the normal 3.
Right.
So, but
what's like the scariest? Have you ever had any scary moments on there? Like not like with an animal or anything, but just like even like holy fuck,
running out of air or something like that. Not really.
No, he's a safe.
I'm pretty good about that. I mean, sometimes you're in situations where, like, and this diving in Jupiter, you're doing a lot of drift diving.
Drift diving is like the boat drops you off, you sink down, and there's a really, really strong current underwater. So the boat doesn't anchor to anything. You just drift with the current. Somebody down there has like a buoy shooting up, right? Yeah. So the boat knows in general where everybody is, right? But the current's really, really strong. So when you come up, what you do is you just sit in the water and you blow, like, it's called a safety sausage. It's like this big neon thing that you blow up in the water, and then you just sit in the water and wait for the boat to see you. And then the boat
captain can see you, so he can follow you.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, what was your story about it? You were about to say something about drift diving.
So like for an example, like in Cozumel, right? In Jupiter, there's only maybe one boat out there when you guys go diving, right? Normally, okay. I've done one time in Jupiter, I just didn't remember. But you dove in Jupiter 1,000 times, so he's Mr. Jupiter.
Yeah.
But in Cozumel, right? You would so in the morning, right? So it's all drift diving, very fast current, right? So they'll drop you off here, they'll pick you up maybe a mile or so down.
Wow.
Because you're drifting that far in the 45 minutes. So you would get out, you'd be going on the boat, and all of a sudden you're looking and you're seeing 15 more boats, and they're all filled with divers. So all of a sudden now,
it's like which ones?
So now you have all these divers are about to jump in the water at the same time, like in a couple miles span, and these boat captains are following your bubbles.
Wow.
So now it's a situation where you gotta hopefully your guy is up there following your bubbles.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get a little distracted. I mean, it's Mexico, so what are you gonna do? So they'll say the radio, maybe a soccer game's on. They're busy, So,
yeah.
But so there was a couple times where like you're drifting and you're doing your thing and all of a sudden like all right, you're waiting for the boat to come get you. Then like you're still it's a little bit maybe sometimes a little rough water. You still bring out your regulator and it's like okay, I'm starting to run out of air now. So now it's like blow up your BCD, which is your inflatable vest, so you can be on the surface. And now you have no more air, so you're just like
trying to breathe through the waves coming in.
Through the waves because you're running out of air. Really, I mean that's really the scope of anything. That's what I remember. It's like, and people would literally, I remember people literally running out of air and they're like, grabbing your secondary, which is another regulator you would have for somebody else is out of air. So you can give it to him, an emergency. So, and like people are like hanging off each other because people are out of air. So me, I just want to be away from everybody. I got a big camera. I'm like, I can't be near me. I got my camera here.
Yeah.
So, but,
I've had it happen before where I came up like by myself. And then I'm just sitting there for like 20, 30 minutes just waiting for the boat to see me because I've drifted so far off from the rest of like wherever the group is, for whatever stupid. I was chasing a turtle down or something.
Yeah.
I had that happen before. Like,
there's times there's times you'd be on the surface for a half an hour waiting for the boat to come get you.
And that's the worst. You're
your boat
just floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You could kind of see the land and you're just like sitting there like, damn, I hope this boat sees me soon.
Yeah, I hate that feeling.
Jupiter's not place for you.
Or a shark can just come up and bite your butt.
No.
That never happens.
That's not shallow water. Remember we talked about this.
I know, but that's just how I feel.
You would like the Caribbean non-drift diving. Like you drop down, there's an anchor, there's a
Aruba
line.
would be the
You
place.
could see
everything. Yeah, I need to see everything. That's the problem. I'm so used to Long Island Sound.
Aruba would be good for you.
Aruba would be good, but not where we went though. So when I went there for a week, and he came down 4 days later. I dove on one part of the island, which is there's no current at all, right? So then there was a couple wrecks there. I mean, literally like zero current. Like anybody can do this. It's very easy. You'll be experienced doing this. Then we had to go on the south side of the island because there was a couple wrecks I wanted to dive there. That's where Jake flew in to come and dive with me on this one with the truck driver lady or whatever. So anyways, it was like drift diving. There was some current there. And there was a couple airplanes that were down there, and literally, you would fly by this 730. There was a 737 upright on the ground, and you literally had to go there and film it or photograph it or try to get inside because the current will take you away from it and you miss it and it's gone and it's bye bye.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
that was a cool plane. Like literally, the back of the plane is sunken down, and like the top of it is up in the air. So you go in.
It's like on a hill.
Yeah, you come in and then you like scuba dive up the middle of like the airplane.
Yeah. Oh, going up to the cockpit.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And it's all filled with like colors and corals and stuff. So like you walk in, you swim in there. It's it's all bright reds and oranges and greens.
Oh, cool.
It's actually pretty cool.
That is nice.
Yeah.
See, I could maybe do that.
It makes like a haven for fish and stuff. That's why they do these. They sink a lot of these boats because it makes like a reef.
Oh, cool! For the fish to feed.
For the fish and the coral, it's basically a starter for coral systems and stuff. And that's why they sink these wrecks like in sandy areas.
Yeah.
So like in 20 years, it becomes a patch.
Oh, cool.
Of coral. So it's really a great thing for the environment.
Yes.
So it's widely promoted. So like half the wrecks I dive in the Caribbean are these artificial reefs, they call them.
Cool.
And some are, and then others are tragedies. A good amount are tragic, but like it's about half and half. We'll say.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
tell us about the book.
Oh, I'm from. I was hoping you would ask about that. So obviously, with my background with photographing shipwrecks and stuff. So,
before we jump into that real quick, like, when did you start photographing shipwrecks? What point in your dive career were you like, all right, I'm gonna start?
Probably year 99, 2000.
And what kind of camera were you using then?
I had to be. It must have been like a little film camera that was like this
Because
big.
the camera he has now,
It's like the size of that
It's
table.
like-
yeah.
Nah, that's not that big.
it's this monster thing. So it has like this whole dive case around it.
Yeah.
It has like these big strobe lights coming off the side of it.
Wide
So-
angle with a big glass dome in the front.
Nice.
Yep. That was.
That's fire.
It's got,
Well, shooting it's shooting wide angle, so you need the glass dome,
Yeah.
so you can get everything in there and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
it's got to be a few $1,000 setup, right? $4,000 setup.
about $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
you can
everything. That's it.
get real expensive with it real quick.
Yeah, of course. Hey, yo. It's all
right. I got
There
it.
you
go. Nice.
So,
Good
anyways,
shit.
good save.
Yeah.
So the
Like Jeter. He's like, don't get me started, huh? The captain right
the
there.
best.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
Sorry, I know I got him distracted with
as I say, I remember seeing him in Yankee Stadium. He's the best. I remember those games.
Yeah, no, he's.
I saw one of his home runs.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
literally a goat.
The best.
Goat.
Yeah.
But anyways, the the housing stuff like that, you piece together with the camera and stuff like that. Like I'll order some pieces, and I actually found some pieces I needed on eBay
Nice.
that were literally we used once, and I got it for
Oh,
like half price. So
yeah.
you can with almost like with anything, even with all the camera equipment here.
Yeah.
You look online, you look hard enough, you can find deals.
Deals, cheaper things,
Yeah.
things that like, hey, this body kit might be cheaper than this body kit, and I could get a more expensive lens and ball or cheaper lens,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. It's all about
you know?
pieces. It's all pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like it's not one unit,
Yeah,
It's,
yep.
I mean, I literally first started with a film camera, and it was like this big, and it said it can only go down like 40 feet or something. So I remember the first time I photographed something was the wreck of the Oro Verde in Grand Cayman, and it was like in 50 feet of water. And I remember going down with the camera, I couldn't go past 40 feet, so I had to stop at like 35 feet to snap the picture because the shutter wouldn't even work. Because if you go down that deep,
Too
it just
deep, it's
wouldn't
not
work.
working anymore.
Huh?
It's not working anymore.
Yeah.
It
after
won't
you
work. So you had to like go up for it to work. It's like pressure, something with the pressure and
Wow.
stuff. So
Do you still have that photo?
I do actually. I have my old albums in my
That should be
library.
like in your book, like on the first page of the whole book,
Well,
or the cover.
nah, because it's so blurry.
I
It's
know
not-
exactly. I know.
It's very blurry. Film.
People
film
look at
camera-
it and be like, what the fuck is
I
this?
know.
Right,
I
exactly,
know.
pretty much.
I know, but
So-
that's the point. That's
But
fire.
if you look at it, be like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's exactly what you're gonna say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like that. So I mean,
Just like
You don't want that to set the tone for the rest of the book.
no, because nobody will buy it. That's the problem. I need to sell it.
they'll
you
be
know?
like, this dude doesn't even know what he's
I'm
talking
like, I
about.
only sold 5 copies, and they're all to my friends. But the underwater photography come a long way with the digital world we live in. Stuff. I mean, these were even like 10, 12 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
with the film, and it's like you only had 32 shots.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you don't even know what it looked like when you took the photo. You had to wait until you went to CVS to get them out.
Yeah.
So like things
the
are
good old days, yeah.
Yeah, like damn it, it's all blurry. You know,
Yeah,
or
like I didn't get
there's
one.
all these speckles everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like, damn
yeah.
it. There's no Photoshop.
Yep.
It's
No.
like all of a
That's
sudden
it.
you get one, you're like, wow, I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, what tough days it was for
Oh,
these people
wow.
like 30 years ago. I mean, it was all luck, and you had one shot.
Yeah.
You couldn't review it. I mean, now it's like
Snap 1,000, see which one you like,
when I-
delete
when
them
I
all
did-
right there.
When we did the Witch Shoal wreck, which we were just talking about earlier, I must have snapped 200 and 225 pictures in one dive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at it, I'm like, do another one, boom. Up, I'll just adjust this. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll adjust the ISO.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Without even a hitch.
Yeah, I know.
I
That's
just
awesome.
I just took 30 pictures of the bow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, and only 2 came out good.
Yep, exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
way it is. Jake was in them. That's why
Yeah.
he was in there for scale. He was like coming up, like coming right up. Here he is. I'm like, and of course I'm at the bow area and with my camera because I'm shooting with a 10mm lens. I have to be literally right up to the bow itself. So I'm literally like within 6 feet of it. But in my pictures, it looks like I'm 20 feet away.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'll see Jake coming up, and I'll be like, just come up a little more. Like, all right, good. Just like whatever.
All underwater. You're like, I don't know what he's trying to tell me right
just
now.
come up, and I,
Oh,
and
you
I
guys
tell
don't
him.
get like walkie-talkies or anything?
No, you can't talk.
No, just like
This
just
is the military.
Hand
no,
signals.
it's all hand signals,
Yeah.
So the underwater hand signals.
Jorge Posada.
pretty much.
Usually I'm just like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to tell me?
Well, just come up. But sometimes I'll just tell them, just be natural, just do your thing. I'll work around you guys. Because you
That's
know
awesome,
what?
yeah.
Best photos come out when people are natural and
candid.
not trying to like be like,
Right.
hey, here I am.
100%.
Now be natural, be swimming, do what you gotta do, because then that's what makes it look
Right.
photos natural. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean the digital world is a thing of beauty. I mean you can just see with all the cameras you have here, and
Love it.
You can adjust everything, and
Everything.
It's amazing.
Like even just with this system, like this is a video switcher, this is an audio switcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm switching the whole show right now. Like now you guys can see me, you know what I mean? And now I'm back at you guys right now. Like it's
Makes
awesome.
the editing process
Like
way
it takes
easier,
like
so
10 hours out of editing.
That's amazing.
Honestly, right now.
That looks more confusing than my setup of my dive camera.
It's not.
It's simple. Yeah.
It's so simple.
Really?
I know I'd say this, but like a 5-year-old could do this.
You know what?
Really.
When I go on these dive trips and stuff like that, and I'll have this big camera like on the ship, on the boat or whatever, people will come up to me looking like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, I would love to have one of those, but my wife would kill me, because I know how expensive that is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not that bad. You could do it, and it's funny because then I'll have I'll be at a boat and people will follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And then they'll send me a message like, hey, I'm looking up at this setup. What do you think?
Yeah, yep.
So it's kind of a great feedback thing. So,
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm rooting them. It's like, here you go. This could be you.
Yeah, anybody
yeah.
that's ever like on the boat with us and stuff, he always like takes their picture for them underwater. Just random people who'll go up
and I'll send it to them and stuff like that.
Nice. Good for you. That's awesome.
That's probably like the best way for networking for you too. Like there's gonna be so many people from
But how often is your
appreciative of
How often are they going to get on a boat with a dude that has a $5,000 camera that's a pro photographer? Like, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's like Jordan underwater.
That's what I had a
Jordan
Facebook post.
underwater.
I had a Facebook
More
post
like
the other day.
more like a 25th draft pick. Jordan. Jordan would be Becky Scott, probably one of the best underwater photographers. Is a female. She's been everywhere. She's literally been to all the same places I've been to, and her work is outstanding.
Yeah.
So, but
That'd be her.
The digital age is amazing with these photos and the photo editing and stuff like that. I mean, every photo I publish and stuff literally gets photoshopped to the key.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible to have a photo that's perfect without Photoshop.
Yeah, no.
It's almost really impossible.
You have to adjust the colors and certain things.
Contrast.
Yeah,
Bring out the
contrast.
lighting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Bring out certain things, change shadows.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's a process, the whole thing, like everything for what you're doing too. It's like from booking the tickets to post editing, it's a long journey, It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of travel.
booking the tickets is the easiest part.
I know,
Takes
yeah,
5 minutes.
I know, exactly. I'm just saying, like that whole journey from there to
Now in the Corona world, it's the hardest part, just getting there.
Yeah.
That process is the worst now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, because you don't know, the rules are changing. So
yeah, every day it seems like.
Yeah, we're like, we don't know if we're gonna be able to go here, not go here, so we
Yeah.
wait to book everything. But
we have to wait and see. It's literally the last second. I mean, St. Thomas, 3 weeks before, 2 weeks.
right before.
Literally.
How's the book coming along now?
Yeah, tell us about the book. Sorry,
So-
Now, like, where's
sidetracked.
it at now?
So now we got to pass the photography stuff. So anyways, so I'm publishing a book about the best shipwrecks to dive in the Caribbean. So this will cover literally 70 sites and all the Caribbean, usually in all the top wreck diving and all the sites that like regular scuba divers can go to. So these are the sites that are literally from novice to intermediate to advanced can all go to and enjoy. And also they get a little bit of history for it. And the show, so basically the last book was made, it was like 20-some years ago. The last shipwreck book of the Caribbean. And that was literally done with film camera. So if you saw these photos in this book, and I'd like to buy a lot of these old books for reference or for information and stuff like that. And I look at the photos, I'm like, these photos suck. It's like a big blue screen with like something in the background, you know? So that's what the film days. It's like that wasn't good, So
Wow, so you're about to
so now
break into a niche.
Well, I mean, it's something that it's part of it's a two-part thing. Needs an update.
Yeah.
The update needs to be done. It hasn't been done. I have a time in my life that I have the time to do it. And also, I don't
And
want
the
to.
knowledge.
This is his purpose.
This is true. And then also, you know what? I've taken probably 20,000 photographs, and it would be a shame to be like every other person I know that takes photographs is just to have them on a hard drive and do nothing with them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you could make back a fraction of the money that you spent on scuba diving.
That is true. But you know
Because
what?
it's so
of course,
expensive.
yeah,
But
Jake.
you know what? I do it so people can enjoy it.
Yeah, see.
So I do it
Exactly, Jake.
because
that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. You know
Hey,
what?
I know, I'm just
so
joking.
I know.
The
it's
financial side, which I hope
Probably
is good.
spent hundreds of thousands of dollars scuba diving in the past 20 years.
No, actually, I haven't really, believe it or
No?
not. No, I thought about that. It's under the 100,000 mark. So
Okay.
That's good.
in 20 something years.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. I mean,
Sign-
if
If you're going into diving, I feel like that's, if you want to be a diver, if you're a young 15-year-old.
I don't even want to look at my tab at Jupiter Dive Center.
I'm a good deals finder for traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, if there's a coupon for diving, I'll find it. And I'll send a copy for Jake. I go, hey, we got one.
Yep.
But,
That's funny.
It's a good way to just show back appreciation to the dive world, and how much appreciation I've gained from it. I've seen it and where it's brought me, and also I want people to really see the wide angle perspective of these wrecks. So a lot of these shipwrecks, I can get almost the whole thing in one photo. Like if it's a ship that's less than 70, 80 feet long, the whole thing could be in one photo in full detail, especially with the wide angle, and especially now the digital age we work in.
Yeah.
I want people to see, flip through a page and say, hey, I'm thinking about going to Aruba, and I want to go see, whatever. I show them some, there's about 4 or 5 wrecks that I covered in Aruba, which are really good dive sites, and now you could look at it and say, hey, you know what, that's really cool. I would like to go see the Renaissance airplane wreck. Oh, I want to go see the Antilla shipwreck that sank during World War II. That was by the Germans, so you can at least, and then you could see it. And
how are you gonna, is it just photos, or is it gonna be some words too?
There's gonna be text.
Boat too.
Oh, cool.
So
nice.
there's gonna be, so you would open up this page and say,
yeah.
okay, this is the wreck of the Antilla, right? So it would cover maybe some sites would have maybe 1 picture, some will have 3 or 2 or whatever. Like the Antilla was a very famous site. It's probably a top 5 in the Caribbean. So it'd be 4 or 5 photos. It'll be the history of the whole site itself and the background and everything. And then another segment will be at least
location, what to expect.
Right. Pretty much like the what to expect during the dive, what to look for.
Right. That's what. Yeah. The current.
Yeah, all those little details that you want to know, but what would be points of interest, and say, hey, instead of wasting your time going to a part of the site that might not be interesting, so I'll say, well, you know what, I would check out the stern area because it's
don't
intact.
go to the bow.
It's got a creepy doorway that goes in. Go check it in, or there's a grouper that lives inside the bow area, or there's a big eel that lives under this wreck, under whatever.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Which are normally there because they tell you they'll tell you that for years that, oh yeah, the wreck of the so-and-so would have a resident eel, they call it. So a green moor eel that's 10 feet long that lives on the wreck. So they would tell you it's there, and you would go there, and lo and behold, he's there. So these are little things that you would expect. So when you get down there,
you're not going to just see a dragon-looking thing.
Right, but you know what? Also make and plus to make the photos look like art. So I would. I'm sure you've obviously seen some of my work, and obviously Jake does too. So as long as that's part of the thing too. Is just to give life to these wrecks, and plus, like I said, to bring them, show that they did things in life, and they did have a life before being a shipwreck, and now they serve a greater purpose, serving the marine life.
Right. So. And how far along are you with this?
I got about 50 sites done, and all said and done, it should be about 70. So I'm literally at the finish.
3/4.
I literally have 3 more islands to do, maybe 4. But obviously, with the coronavirus, is really throwing everything in a loop for me. I mean, I
still have personally to go do 4 more sites,
4 more islands,
4 more islands to finish the
probably
book.
3 or 4 sites.
I have 15 islands covered.
Okay, wow.
So
there's 19 total.
About that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not every island in the Caribbean is known for wreck diving, but a good maybe half are.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to cover what's really good. I mean, you have maybe one island that has 1 wreck in there, but it's not really known as an island for that. So it's not really worth the time. But I'd rather get to an island they have at least 3 to 5 or 6. Like the Bahamas, you did Stewart's Cove in Nassau, Bahamas. I mean, they have literally 14, 15 shipwrecks through Stewart's Cove in Nassau.
Wow.
I've covered 12 of them. The other couple were like not really anything to run home about, so it was okay not to cover that.
Yeah.
So, but I covered all the main ones. I mean, he went and did that. You did that last year, right?
Yep.
You went last year?
No, this year.
Oh, this year you went.
Yeah,
Okay.
right before Corona lockdown, February 2020, or like February 28th. I was in the Bahamas.
Amazing.
It was right when they were saying like about to have a shutdown. We were there on President's Club for work, and I was like,
That's right. I forgot.
Scuba
That's right.
dive, yeah.
Remember that. And I was there actually last March and last September. So I went back for 3 more days.
Bahamas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there in like 13 years.
Where'd you go? Atlantis?
Yeah, I went with Jake. Last time I went, I fell in love, so I stay away from those places.
You mean you would have worked there as like the guy that like the big slide that goes down?
Yeah, we didn't do that.
No, you'd be the guy at the top. And you go, okay, kid, go ahead. You're next.
That's who I fell in love with?
Yeah. No, that would be your job if you stayed there.
Oh, yeah.
No,
definitely.
he means he fell in love with a woman there.
With a woman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did Jake in St. Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet. Yeah.
So funny.
So my sister's boyfriend came to pick us up from the airport, right, in St. Thomas. So a friend was coming back with us from another flight, so she needed a ride back. So
Rania.
Oh, okay, got it.
So anyways, I told my sister's boyfriend, and I'm like, hey, there's gonna be 3 of us coming back. We decided to play a joke on him, tell him that Jake fell in love with some girl from St. Thomas. It was
bringing her back to the United States.
Bringing back to the United States. She said she loved him, and this and that, and he just booked her a ticket, and she's coming back. And
Did
he
they
was
believe
just,
it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
And I told Jake, and I was like, listen, I want you when he comes pulling up with the car, I want you guys to hold hands, so make it look like you guys are really in love.
Yeah.
So, and we're coming back. It was a very foggy night, and he's just looking at New York City skyline. He's like, look, New York City, big lights.
She doesn't speak any English.
Oh, that's so funny.
And we never told him. And actually, he texted me not long ago. Asked me, he goes, "Hey, is your buddy? Does he still have his chick up from St. Thomas? You know?" I'm like, yeah, she's still here. I'm like, yeah, she didn't go back.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so we never told him. I don't think we ever will either. I think
It's
we'll
gonna be an ongoing joke forever.
Oh yeah. I'll tell him they got married.
Yes, it will.
Whatever. Let it be. It's better if you just go on forever. Just never tell him. I'll tell him in 20 years.
Oh my God. No, it's epic, dude. I think this whole thing is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's even cooler, like that you've been doing this for plus 20 years, and in plus 20 years, there hasn't been a new book written. And now
on the topic of shipwrecks though.
Yeah, it's dope.
I mean, there is plenty. I mean, there is books still coming out. Not as much as they used to back in the day because everything's so digitalized, but definitely in this category that I'm covering, this is going to be pretty much the most expanded and more in the Caribbean wise, because a lot of these books say we cover like maybe 10, 12 islands. And also they don't use, so one book I saw that was made the one from 20 years ago was a lady that did a lot of the photography. She didn't do all the photos. She took photos. There were some other people that sent her photos to use in the book.
Yeah.
Like all these photos that be in my book are literally all done by me. Every single one of them, all was through my eyes. And I went and looked and I picked out the angles. I saw, because everything about photography, especially on shipwrecks, is about light and angles, just like, for video and stuff like that. So it's all these things come into play. I mean, you have to like get down there and look at which way is the sun hitting the wreck.
Right.
And you got to get the most out of it the best way you can.
Right.
So it's a lot of like, just go down there and shoot. You got to almost kind of do a little reconnaissance before you get going. So
I was going to say, it's probably a lot to get that shot. It's like a lot of preparation. And
you don't have much time.
Yeah, some luck. Like, some
Running
days.
out of air, literally.
Like we did the Wit Service wreck, which was found, was refounded over the summer.
Yeah.
It was our first dive jumping in. And we had maybe like a 25-minute bottom time on that because it was like
so deep.
It was 100 feet. So... And Jerry, who ran our boat, he went down and pulled off a porthole off the wreck. So there's those big bronze windows that you see, like a
lot of these wrecks still have the original windows like attached to them. So like he was down there.
You could just take it and have it.
You took it and have it.
You gotta snap it off there.
Yeah. I have it on video. He was swinging it off and stuff like that. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah. So and he pulled. So he had this new guy on the boat that's like.
He tied it to the anchor and was like, just make sure you flip this thing over the boat before you come up, right?
Yeah, he didn't release it from the wreck, so he had like part of the anchor and stuff still hooked into the wreck. So we all got out to the surface.
And we're hooked on.
And we're still hooked on. Couldn't even get off. It's like, and I watched, and I was going up the line. We were going up the line on the dive, and I was looking down the line on the bottom, him trying to do what he was doing. And I'm like,
he fucked it up.
Yeah, I'm like, he's doing it. I'm like, that's not the way. Because we up in the north there, we try to put it in the sand after we're done, so we get up there, it just releases easily. I was watching him. I was like, I don't like the way he did. That's not the way that's not gonna work too well. Lo and behold, we went up and
somebody had to go back down.
Well, Tiger King went back down to do it. He literally is Tiger King. I wish I have a photo of him I could show you.
Bleached blonde hair with these big mutton chops.
He is awesome.
Big beer belly.
He's the best ever. We
need to get him famous.
I wish he was here because he would be here in 2 seconds. He'd be sitting right here.
He's so
awesome,
funny, bro.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Everybody that we met on the island was so funny. We met this one guy that we were talking to after, old school fisherman from St. Thomas.
That guy.
Big, huge. He was born and raised in St. Thomas.
He could be on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you see like a white guy that almost has like a Caribbean accent, like almost like a Bahamian or Jamaican kind of accent, you know, but like mixed with like this weird British kind of accent. Like
they're originally French.
So they call them Frenchies. None of them are French. They all call themselves Frenchies.
Well, they're not originally from St. Thomas. They came from
a Dutch island.
St. Bart's, I think it was, or something.
Yeah, St. Bartholomew.
St. Bart's, and which is mostly French and Irish.
Wow.
So they brought them over to St. Thomas, and they called this little section Frenchtown.
Right. So these people all call themselves Frenchies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this guy was like, he's
Old
like, hey,
school.
have you ever seen this shipwreck out here? And he starts telling us he's like, my granddaddy, he's like, we didn't have any of these GPS sensors. He's like, we dropped a line into the water until we hit something, because they're all going to put fishing pots down, so they want to make sure they're not wasting their pots,
Wow.
So he ends up telling us this whole story about how his grandmother was married to 3 fishermen and all of them died at sea, and she's like, after that she never married a fisherman again. They all disappeared at sea and shit. And then after we get in the car, and I was like, that was an interesting guy. And then
I wish I recorded. I looked at Jake. I go, Jake, get your phone out, record this, because this conversation was amazing.
Yeah.
This guy was old school, the accent. And of course, because of the coronavirus, he had no mask on. He told the other guy, he goes, 6 feet, fucker. 6 feet. 6 feet, fucker.
Yeah, it was funny. And then we get in the car, and I was like, that was an interesting guy. And he was like, yeah, even crazier is he was in jail for murdering somebody.
And I was like, what? He stabbed somebody.
He's like, he's got serious anger issues. He stabbed somebody to death because he thought they were stealing his fishing pots out in the water. Some pirate shit, dude.
Oh,
Crazy.
my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's epic.
This guy was unbelievable. I was like, wow, that is an amazing. That was probably the most realistic, authentic,
conversation
you ever heard from a Caribbean fisherman who's been there all of his life. It's like a white guy.
That's all he knows.
It's like a white guy. These are European immigrants that live in the Caribbean their whole lives and stuff like that. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's really
that is
cool.
sweet.
Yeah. But before we wrap up, when can we expect a timeline for the book?
So a guesstimate.
Guesstimate time is my original completion date was supposed to be the summer of 2021. Now with the coronavirus, I'm hoping to have it wrapped up by the end of 21. If not, it'll be the spring of 22.
Nice.
And also, there's a trade show in New Jersey called Beneath the Sea, which is usually every March. We're obviously with the coronavirus, we were going to go. This past March, but it was canceled. It's a trade show that usually gets 100,000 people that come through, and dive shops from literally all over the world come. They set up their booths and stuff. So
you're gonna do one?
So I'm gonna pair up with one of the local dive shops here that does their thing there, and I'm gonna have my book signing there going on. So I'll be there for a weekend, signing and selling the book, and
hopefully, so that would be perfect. Be done by 2021 spring.
No, I would have to still travel in 21 to complete the islands. I need.
I'm sorry, 2022. I'm sorry,
2022. I'm hoping by then that everything will be.
That's what I meant.
Pretty much back to normal. Right. So if I can get everything and all set and done, I'm taking care of a lot of the grunt work for it. So basically, everything will be literally all set up for me to send to the publisher, and the publisher will be able to
ready to go.
Bang, done.
Yeah.
So it should be about a 125 page book, give or take 130 pages or whatever.
Awesome.
So, and also the cool thing is about this actually I like the most, that all my friends that I dive with and I care about the most are all in it.
Yeah.
So they're all Jake's in a couple, from Aruba. He's in for St. Thomas. My some of my other buddies I dive with for years. They're all in these photos with. So They're all in there.
That's dope.
with me, so it's kind of cool. So
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, I
So
can't
it's
wait
like-
to get a copy.
I know.
Show that shit to
Oh,
everybody.
sign it.
Yeah.
I'll even
I'm like,
sign
it's
it.
me right here.
I'll even sign it for him.
Yeah, wow. What a guy. What was I going to say? Fudge. Oh, yeah. Where can people, like, because I'm sure you're still in the process of the journey, so it's always fun to watch the journey. Where can people...
Yeah,
follow
Instagram.
you
He's still
and stuff.
posting
I still-
photos
yeah.
that he takes.
I still
what I'm
post
saying.
on Instagram, so
Yeah.
at Jason Giannaras at Instagram.com.
Perfect.
And you can also request me on Facebook on Jason Giannaras. So I usually I'll post some albums and stuff like that. But a lot of the I'll do like this thing on Instagram called Wreck Wednesday. So basically, I'll just take one of my photos. I'll just take a photo from one of the shipwrecks I did in the Caribbean.
Nice.
And I'll give you a history. I'll put it up.
Yep.
I'll give you the history of it and stuff like that. And,
There's one today with me in it.
There's one for literally a split second. I actually did it. Usually I do photo, but this time I actually did a video of the one of the wrecks we did in St. Thomas. So
Cool.
I actually started from the bow and went all the way to the stern in one clip. And it was like a minute and a half clip. So like some sections I sped it up and made it
Nice.
about 40 seconds. Add a little
Nice.
music to it.
Nice.
So people enjoy it. They like it.
Nice, dude. Well, we're going to make sure we share your stuff on Downtime TV.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. That was awesome. I can't wait to have you have the book then, and I can't wait to go scuba diving with you
I
guys.
hope so.
sometime
Well,
soon.
I hope I come back. This was
Oh,
a
you
great
definitely
time.
are.
This
We
was a
gotta
great
talk.
time.
We gotta talk Yankees. We gotta talk Yankees.
We got a
next
lot.
time.
We got a lot to talk about.
We have
Plus more
sports-
diving.
we have a
Sports show
sport-
too. So
Yeah,
you know a lot about sports.
Softball.
Baseball.
dude. Monday, Fridays. Every Monday, Friday, we do a
You
show.
should do a call in.
You could even call in.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
It's almost like phone a friend from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, let me look at my phone. That's the answer. They can never do that show no more because their family members are waiting with the iPad. Like they can look up anything. In 2
Oh
seconds.
yeah, it's not the
yeah.
same anymore now.
Yeah, this-
like when
the
your
day's
dad
over.
knew the knowledge or something.
Yeah, yeah. You say, I'll call this person, I'm like, yeah. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Jason. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Much
Until next
appreciated.
time, guys. Peace.
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 Awesome.